Number 5, kicking off our top 5 coaching carousel moves, Mark Masden to the California Golden Bears. Matt, what are your thoughts?
I like this one too. Now, this is another move that kind of catches people off guard, but in Utah Valley, Mark Madsen was, and I have the numbers here so I can actually look them up and sound smart. We're talking about a guy who was 70 and 51, 39 and 25 in conference, finished first twice. In between, got some 8th, 7th place finishes, but even in a conference like the Western Athletic Conference, you're playing some pretty good teams. He's already gone and got Fardwassa Mack, another guy who's on the All Matt McClellan team, as we know from last season. In the portal, was at Texas Tech, didn't work out. That was a disaster. We don't have to talk about why. He got out, got him, got a big man down low. And I really like his enthusiasms. I've seen videos of him coaching, and I like that enthusiasm. And what he also has, I think, will play fairly well into a job at Cal, is that he's got a connection to the area. Of course, he played for the Los Angeles Lakers. He was on a couple of those Kobe Shaq teams. We don't need to talk about his dancing at that championship parade, but that personality is infectious. He's got ties to some pretty interesting folks in that area. The Pac-12 is usually a pretty top-heavy conference, so excuse me.
Stay
Pac-12 is
hydrated,
usually
Matt.
what?
Says stay hydrated, Matt.
I'm a hydrated king, don't you know? The Pac-12 is a pretty top-heavy conference, and if you can position yourself to have a couple of good years, you're going to be in a good shape. If you can even aim for like the middle of the pack your first couple years, you're probably going to be pretty good shape. Already building a foundation, already has a big guy in the transfer portal, huge guy who I think is due for a comeback season with a Mac. He's got this infectious personality. And let's be honest, of all the Pac-12 schools, the one we associate the least with athletics, aside from probably like Washington State and Aaron Rodgers, is Cal. So once again, it's an opportunity where like the pressure is there because you're in a Power 5 conference, but you don't have to immediately produce like you would even in like a Big 10 Big East school, which we're going to get to. So I really like that move. The guy's got an infectious personality, did very well in the MAC, where he did have a rival, Utah Valley have played a lot of those Utah schools very tightly. Utah State, I think, joined the Mountain West during that period, so they didn't play them all the time. That's a very good school. But yeah, bottom line is when you know people in that area, when you've played in the NBA, and you've got an infectious personality and you're in California, good things are going to happen.
So real hoop heads know that Mark Masden was the Brian Scalabrine before Brian Scalabrine, and that's all I have to say about that. If you know, you know. But like Matt said, Masden's going to have his work cut out for him. Cal might be the worst Power 5 job you can have. They're coming off a 3-29 season. They haven't had a winning season since the 2016-2017 season. And since that time frame, they have 4 single-digit wins, Matt. Single-digit win seasons, Matt. That's not good. And coming from Utah Valley, he had 1 winning season in 3 years. And Utah Valley is not exactly a basketball powerhouse. Their claim to fame might be when that announcer forced a really awkward whack pun when they were playing against Kentucky a couple years ago. And again, real ones know what I'm talking about. Matt is shaking his head.
Every day we stray further from God's light and being a family podcast, but mostly God's light.